Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday night here in the Nexon Arena, 6:30 p.m. KST, and that means it's time for some more Pro League action. I'm Wolf. With me is Moonglade. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. The night is dark and full of Terrans, as we have a Terran in every single match here today. I saw that one from Maynard off Twitter seconds ago. Thank you, Maynard.
I was about to say, well said, man. Do you write your own material?
No, I do not. I simply copy.
Well, look at these badasses. +7 indicator.
Damn.
I don't think any team in the past few years of StarCraft 2 Pro League has ever had an indicator that good, this early on in the season. And they're going up against MVP. And with the matchups today, this first match seems the only promising one for MVP, but doesn't even seem that promising, to be honest.
I mean, considering what we've seen from sKyHigh in recent times, his mech play against Zerg specifically, and specifically against Su, has been so on point. The match is going to be Deadwing, so I think we could definitely see that again today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's entirely possible we see a 3-0 today from CJ. They are on fire. They're on top of the roster. But I don't care what anybody says. By my books, they are by far and above the best Pro League team right now. They are the strongest.
They're looking fantastic, and yeah, they're definitely on their way to get rank 1 in today's in this round
right.
2.
Exactly. MVP has a lot to prove. You know, they had a pretty good season so far compared to last season, especially. You know, last season they kind of put on the steam in round 3 and then kind of ran out of it in round 4. They only looked dominant in one part of the season last year, but in this time they're looking pretty good. They've got a more well-rounded roster. Youngwa's looking pretty decent. Speaking of him, he's right there on camera for you guys. Losira is on fire, one of the top-ranking players in individual rankings. But looking at Marine King at center, the other two they brought to the roster, they both had a few moments this season, but otherwise not looking too shabby.
Looking at this roster, or these matchups here today, Losira has to win if they wanted to get it to a Game 4, where Youngwa is also going to have to do his work, which is kind of been the name of MVP in recent times. Like, it's been Losira and Youngwa getting those wins and really carrying the team.
Yeah, like Marine King and Center are going to have to be miracle wins if they take those, especially considering Center's playing against Hero on King Sejong Station.
Yeah, I mean, that's Hero's hometown right there, man. He's done so well on this map for so long. And sure, the way Terran is playing these days with the mine drops and bio, it's like getting a little harder for Protoss, but still, this is Hero we're talking about.
Now, MVP is on the edge of getting into that top 4 with the win today. We'll see how SKT does as well because of the win as well. You know, they might just continue to keep MVP out of the loop. There really depends on indicator as well. But a win today would be great for them. It would push them to the top 4, and that's really, really important right now.
Yeah, they're on the cusp there. I mean, compared to the likes of StarTale and Prime, these guys, I think they'll be sitting down there for the rest of this round.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they get a better start going into round number 3, because we're looking at Prime's indicator already down there at -11.
I think there's no way you can come back from that.
No, there's simply not. If you take a look here, we have a very close race for winners ranking. And, I mean, Cure is just 1 win away from jumping up there to tie for the rest of these other 9 players tied at 7 wins. Innovation, of course, with a 7-1 is the cleanest of these first-place players, but we don't differentiate between that. It's funny that Zest is 7 and 8.
Yeah, I think we should actually start differentiating with the losses, man, because, I mean, 1 loss compared to 8, that's a big difference in my opinion, and clearly Innovation would be getting the rank 1 if it does come to that.
Sure. Now, he might be able to pull ahead later on tonight because he will be playing. He is fielded for SK Telecom, so he might be able to take that clean-cut first place away from everybody else. Don't forget, though, with Losira playing, too, today, anything is possible.
Yep, that's right.
We have a little bit of a quiz event down here. If you guys come down to the studio and you can read Korean and you want to go to this event, proleague.sc2, please get involved. But otherwise, I would just recommend coming down to the studio. Come say hi to us. Come say hi to the players. It's free to enter. You don't need to reserve a seat. You might want to for, say, like the playoffs or the round 2 finals, for example. But coming down on a day like today, just come down a little bit early, just a little bit, and you'll absolutely get a good seat.
Yeah, it seems like today you get a good seat regardless, even if you came right now. Not many people turning up today. Maybe, well, usually Tuesdays are a little lesser of a matchups.
Yeah.
Monday's usually the special day where we get the good stuff. And Tuesday, kind of get these mismatches, I guess, these teams that are struggling against the bigger teams.
Yeah, Tuesday's kind of been like the cleanup day. For the past few weeks especially. Now, sKyHigh's stats in Pro League don't really reflect his skill level. He's only 2-2 and 1-0 versus Zerg, but you mentioned his game versus Su. That's that win, and it's a pretty big one.
Yeah, he's a lover of mech, and his mech looked absolutely fantastic on Vani Research Station. And, I mean, this is going to be Deadwing. Very easy 4-phase mech play on this map. And I dare say we're going to see that again from sKyHigh. It seems to be really up his alley.
Yeah. Definitely think that's what we're going to be seeing as well. I mean, he could change it up if he wants to throw a curveball, but why do that when you're so good at this?
Yeah. There's no point. I mean, if you prefer that style, and this map is a perfect map to do it on. But Losira, man, he's definitely on point. He's the one carrying this team, 7-3 this round already. That's damn impressive.
It really is. He's 2-2 versus Terran in Pro League. Did fail to qualify for GSL, which will upset a lot of people. He is great versus Bio. He's incredibly strong versus Bio. His Ling Muta Baneling is really, really strong. He loves to just make a ton of those units. He stays on that Lair Tech for a really long time. If the game goes super late, he just keeps making Banelings. But he may find himself running into a bit of a wall here against sKyHigh. We'll have to see.
Yeah, he definitely seems like one of the most greediest Zergs we do have here, which I think would be a pretty good advantage going up against a mech player if he can take advantage of it. But we'll see how early he can identify that.
That we will. On map 1, as mentioned, is going to be Deadwing, the big map here, the mech map for sKyHigh. Let's jump into game number 1 to see which one of these two teams is going to take the lead.
Any second now.
Looks like it might have been set the starter as a mistake, so I was actually asking Losira in the chat there. Well, decided not to. I was about to ask Losira to press the start button. The original chat asks sKyHigh to press start, and since sKyHigh has not responded in the chat and only Losira has typed, I can only assume that there's a problem with sKyHigh's computer, and oh look, Detective Wolf was right again.
Well done, mate. And I guess we'll have a bit of a delay. I wonder what happened.
Yeah, it may just simply be a keyboard problem. That's why I wasn't able to type there, or maybe the lobby crashed because we have a very special Pro League lobby. It's a custom game.
Well, it should have showed him leaving the game if that was the case, and as far as I know. So we haven't seen that just yet, but it looks like we are going to be remaking, so
yeah,
a bit of a delay starting off today.
I think sometimes the UI crashes because I've loaded this up for replays sometimes, and if you accidentally press the wrong button, then like the UI just crashes and you can't click on anything, and you just kind of have to just like F10 and leave the game.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's possibly what happened. I hope it's not a bigger, deeper issue here. We're gonna take a look at the predictions. I'm scared actually because I've been making some bold ones that have, hit me pretty hard. Okay. Wow. Looks like my prediction's pretty safe today.
Yeah, you're not doing too bad, man.
I mean, for Losira versus sKyHigh, my record on the other hand is tied with Kanata.
Damn, I went for sKyHigh, man. I'm one of the few. Betraying my Zerg brother for mech of all.
I'm looking at Kanata, see if he's talking about me, because we're down there at 48%. We make the bold predictions.
Yeah, but me and Valdez doing pretty well.
Yeah, you guys are tied in first place currently.
Damn.
Very well done.
Well, thank you, sir.
And this is actually all the stats now, guys. This is not just like from last week. This is all of the stats. I believe for round 2.
Yeah, I will. Is it? Yeah, I guess it must be round 2. Yeah.
It's like it's about 29 to 30-ish games, I think. Last I checked. So that's a lot of stats. I mean, this is actually not just they're just beating them by like one game. No, this is actually pretty impressive that you guys are ahead this far.
I guess it's still pretty early days though. We still got a lot of games to go before we can really see who's the best predictor.
Yeah, that we certainly do. So I mean, I guess we're going to have this game rehosted. I just see Losira has been reinvited to the lobby, and no sign of sKyHigh just yet. I'm hoping that it's just simply there was a problem with the lobby or something, no deeper computer issues or mouse issues, like it couldn't press start because his mouse wasn't working or something like that. I think this is the first time this has ever happened in the lobby, though.
It is the first time ever. So it must have been like a hardware problem. He's using it now, so I think he'll be in the lobby in no time, maybe just double-checking everything before he joins the lobby.
Yeah, probably just running some tests just to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Pretty weird.
That would be weird.
Pretty weird to start this day off like this. I don't know about this, man.
You and I, last time we cast Pro League, we had another technical issue like this where we tried to recover the game several times and it wasn't working.
Oh, my God. That was horrible. That was a nightmare. We spent like 15 minutes just talking about crap.
Yeah, we certainly did, man. Oh. I hope that doesn't happen again because then I'm just like cursing you forever in Pro League when you cast with me.
Yeah. we're going to have to stay apart from now on, man.
All right, there it is. He's in.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, looks like we're going to go ahead and restart the lobby. There's the players. A laugh comes through the audience. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, as we rebuild the hype for this game 1.
Okay, all right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Game number 1. CJ Antis on top of the world versus MVP struggling to get top 4. sKyHigh, the master of mech, versus Losira, the master of making a lot of banelings and zerglings and sometimes some mutalists. The map is loaded. I think we're going to take a look at that lobby again.
Yep, let's see if it works out this time.
Losira types go identically. This
All
time
right,
he typed go too, and the countdown is started. Okay.
Here we go.
There we go. Maps up.
No music for this one.
There we go. Down to the bottom left in yellow. Struggling to join the game, but otherwise an all-around good Terran. It's sKyHigh.
And up here in the top left for MVP, it is Losira. One of the greediest Zergs we have in the business.
One of the angriest looking Zergs as well.
The Piano Zerg is what his name should be for that ridiculous APM he has.
Yeah.
Already 450 peaking, it seems.
Yeah, he loves to spam it out. This is the first Deadwing TPZ we've had in Pro League, actually. We've had a Protoss in, like, every single match.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah, that is actually true. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, not many Terrans we do see on this map, or TVZs at the very least, yeah. But I feel like it was for a reason, and that reason is because sKyHigh wants to go mech.
Yeah. Definitely a possibility that, or a strong possibility, I should say.
But at the same time, I mean, maybe sKyHigh wanted Protoss as well. You know, we could have had Youngwa on this map. So I guess we don't know for sure.
It definitely would not have surprised me.
But regardless of what his intentions were, I think we will see mech regardless.
Yeah, you know, I was kind of expecting a CC first here out of sKyHigh, but he's going to drop that barracks. Most likely just going to be a Reaper opening instead then.
Yeah, I mean, playing it safe, and you can transition from this anyway. Like, you get a good scout off, you know, see what's going on. Go into that Hellions, the Hellion transition, and then obviously add Banshees and Hellion Banshee into whatever you want. Can be mech, can be bio. These positions not bad for bio either. I mean, vertical spawns like this, parade push is very strong.
Yeah. You know, there's all sorts of different things he could do here. Let's just wait and, I guess, watch this unfold. We have a hatch first for Losira, going to that safety pool afterwards, not super greedy. He just, like, nods to me as I say that. That's right, Losira. Just keep it a little bit safe, not too greedy.
Yeah, not too bad. Everything kind of, standard sort of play. Hatch first, 16 pull, 2 more drones. Should be a gas next, perhaps.
Oh, there's the Reaper.
Unless he wants to go gasless.
Yeah, I mean, that
would be cool, actually. I'd love to see that.
That's fine.
That's, like, old school. Bring back the Wings of Liberty style, where you go, like, extra couple of creep queens and get that creep pumping out there. Maybe he's like super expecting it to be mech already, so he's like, well, I'm just going to play super greedy, avoid any sort of early speedlings for defense, and just go hard on the queens, hard on the creep spread.
Starts to look more and more like that's what he's doing here, Moonglade.
I like this choice.
Good scout on the CC as well. He's going to see this Reaper coming down. Already knows it's there, and decides not to send a drone to make a super quick third just yet because... Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure why he turned that drone around, but maybe he just wants to drone up a bit more instead of doing super greedy.
Yeah, he probably should. He should probably focus on getting his 3rd and 4th queen before he wants to go for an extra hatchery, because of that Reaper obviously going to be harassing, and he wants a bit of creep spread as well on this map. We are finally actually seeing an extractor go down around 4 minutes 20.
Yep, the Reaper decides to stay home as well to deny any additional scouts, and we're going to see an insanely fast 430 3rd CC coming up for sKyHigh with that reactor. So he's taking all those extra minerals and dumping into a quick 3rd CC before factory. And now the factory comes down.
Yep, and this is the kind of the greedy play we expected from sKyHigh to start things off, and already putting that reactor on that building factory.
That starts to look more like mech to me, but it's too early to tell. This keeps him very marine low for this early game, you know. Not going to have those two. Not going to be able to deny Overlord scouts as easily either. Not because of this, but just also coincidentally, Losira has already seen this because he got his Overlords into good spots. He guessed correctly on the scouting locations early on. So he already sees the factory. He's making a ton of drones right now. And we do have a tech lab being added, actually, on that barracks.
Okay, all right. But he lifts it off instantly. And he's going to be throwing, no doubt, another factory. No, maybe a starport.
Yeah.
Starport should be it, actually.
Banshees, 2nd gas is up. Looks like we're going to be seeing some Cloak Banshees.
Some mecha-doodle-doo, in my opinion, Wolf.
Starting to look that way. And Losira just getting a wall set up, getting ready for those annoying Hellions. He's already got a pretty healthy drone count. He's going to get his upgrades up pretty soon, too. Drops the third hatch and just keeps droning like a madman. He doesn't need really any lings out right now. He doesn't have speed. You know, he's just...
I think he might even just forego it, because we are already seeing that Roach Warren go down 2 Evos. Like, nice SimCity. There's no way Hellions are going to get in anytime soon. So, you know, Losira's done his homework. He knows exactly who he's playing against. And, yeah, this guy loves to go mech.
I like that cute little tumor down there on the other side of the rocks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Pretty important. You know, you can see any sort of backdoors trying to come down that way. It can give you a little bit more speed, a little bit more mobility to run around later on. This Reaper's going to pop in here. He wants to see the comp. Wants to make sure it's not some sort of weird timing attack coming his way, because he has skimped a lot on the units. And he gets a lot of information here. He's going to see the E-base. Sees no units out whatsoever. Slow lings, of course. And so he knows that he doesn't have to worry about anything. Doesn't have to make any safety siege tanks or, you know, sort of extra precautions back at home.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much sees everything. Yeah, as you were saying, he sees all the droning. He sees the lair coming up, 2 Evos. He knows no speed on the map whatsoever. Especially at that time, he's like, okay, like, he knows I'm going mech ready. He's already making that Roach transition. From here, he just has to kind of defense up.
Yeah.
Maybe focus on... Well, we are seeing actually the Brax go for a barracks, a tech lab. So maybe he wants to actually go into bio from here. If he's going to start with Stim, maybe, just maybe, unless he's going to lift that one off as well and maybe throw in another factory.
He may, because, you know, he's adding already his 3rd and 4th gas on that armory. Well, he's making a Marauder.
Okay.
Okay.
No Stim just yet, though.
Yeah.
You know, he does have enough for it, but he chooses not to make any.
Could just be safety. Someone really wants to deny this Overseer. Get that Changeling. Changeling's not going to see much. Oh, well, he didn't click on it. Oh, wow, this is huge. He wants to maybe fake a Stim here. He doesn't even notice it.
Well, he doesn't. He definitely doesn't see this anything researching on that tech lab, which is a big problem. And I guess he's just going to keep that scout there, so he's going to know exactly what's going on.
Well, we're going to see a little switcheroo over here, but that's a Changeling down there. That's not going to move. This is going to really make sKyHigh upset when he realizes, oh, that's a Changeling. Oh my God.
You've seen everything. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And 1-1 for the Roaches. Halfway done, just about. Roach speed on the way.
You know, these Cloak Banshees that he committed to just have simply not done anything. I mean, he's just keeping them with his Hellions now. It looks like he's going to move across the map. Because he has an armor, he can just transform these back into Hellbat mode in a second. He's just going to toast this Roach firsthand. Sorry, Roachy. You're not getting out of here.
Yeah, and I mean, from here, it's pretty interesting. sKyHigh kind of feels like it looks like he's stumbling just a bit, you know? Like he's trying to do these transitions and stuff, but Losira is kind of seeing everything that's coming. Already has the tech to deal with it. Will he have enough for 2 Banshees and this many Hellbats is another question there.
Yeah, this is just this is a lot of push power. I mean, even with Roaches versus Hellbats, the splash damage really starts to stack up. He's got 2 Banshees over here to help out.
No detection at all.
The Viking killed the Overseer. Where's the Overseer? He's got to make a new one.
There's actually an Overseer right at the back of this army, but it's just not in position for it.
Oh, there it is.
And these Banshees, they're going towards the natural, but there's already a Spore there, so you're not going to find much.
He needs to be careful. He's just going to one-shot a few drones with these 2 Banshees together. You can do that. 9 in total, 10, and back off.
Now the counterattack begins there. This could be a problem.
He's going to have to lift his 3rd. Starts a 4th.
Oh, he has 1 tank and a bunker set up with a Banshee there as well.
Yep. He's just going to have to lift the 3rd if Losira commits to it. And he's going to get this refinery, which is kind of annoying. 1 more SCV too. And he's actually not going to be able to mine here for a while, and this gives Losira so much time to transition back at home. He's getting a Hydralisk Den. He's also getting the Infestation Pit, which is really important.
Let's see if that's going to be for Swarm Host. So straight into Hive. Could maybe go for Vipers nice and quick and focus on the Roach Hydra sort of composition and see if he can apply more pressure.
Yeah, what do you think, actually? What do you think he's going to go for here? With the Hydras, I feel like Vipers, but...
I feel like that, but, I mean, Roach Hydra is always going to be good, especially if you're dealing with Banshees already like this. But we're going to have to wait and see if he's going to throw down the Hive, or is he going to go for the Enduring Locusts?
Ooh, this is a good moment for him. He's going to try to run here and knock out these Siege Tanks. This is a great trade for him if he can kill them all. Even with 4 Banshees here, he's going to be able to get 2, I think 3 Siege Tanks.
I don't think it's worth it at all, man. He's sure he's resetting the Siege Tank count, but he lost every Roach, and it's not going to actually do any economic damage whatsoever. And we're just going to see sKyHigh remake his tank count. So unless Losira has like a follow-up plan for this, like, okay, the tanks are gone, I just have to make another army and go now. Maybe.
Hydras?
Hydra's on the way, sure. I mean, he's going to get that regardless of whatever he does because he has to have something for those Banshees. Especially when sKyHigh's already committed to 4. Like, clearly, it's going to be a problem if he tries anything else.
Oh, he's getting a Hive back at home.
Okay.
So we were right about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hydralisk range and then speed has been queued up as well. It's going to be a pretty essential upgrade when trying to combat these units. Now, already a wall set up 2 Siege tanks, and the Banshees are not terrible against Hydralisk if there's no detection or if they're just free to fire from behind.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's tanks, the Hydras are always going to be sort of zoned out. There's no way they're going to get on top of these Banshees, and Banshees could just be whole positioning above the tanks, dealing with all the roaches and whatnot if the micro is good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to use them and utilize them.
Well, Blue Flame is going to be great against the Hydralisk too, as they are light units. And he's just setting up to take that 4th base here. Supplies are even, which is never a good thing for a Zerg who's trying to challenge mech.
Yep, never ever.
I mean, it's not like he's got a massive bank he's about to catch up and or rather pull himself ahead with. He spent a lot of resources on upgrades, all those roaches that died, as well as that Hive. Now he's getting a Spire and melee upgrades.
Yep, and I believe sKyHigh does know it's gone for Hive, so I'd be surprised if we don't see some more Vikings in production soon. You know, he wants to zone out those Vipers as much as possible.
Yeah, this is just simply way too much siege tank fire. He cannot approach this location. He's taking a 5th base, which I do like.
Yeah,
5 Vipers. That's a lot of Vipers. That's really expensive.
Yeah, but you really need that many sort of blinding clouds to deal with tanks like this, especially if the Terran player is smart enough to just, you know, kind of spread everything out. So you need multiple blinding clouds just to get like a bunch of them. Like, the way it's spread out at this point is like you're going to need maybe 4 or 5 blinding clouds to really effectively engage in this without taking too much damage. So I really like what sKyHigh's got planned. And this is a pretty hard position for Zerg because it is vertical spawns. When the mech finally gets up to that death ball sort of stage and it can start moving across the map, it's going to be very hard to engage on.
Amunga, what do you think about this this very early? I mean, we do see this often in the late game, but we're starting to see a bit of an earlier chunk of static defense here. 5 spines and 2 spores. This is just to stop earlier mech pushes from coming across the map until he has enough units.
Yeah.
3 Nidus networks?
Wow.
4?
What?
What?
5? Okay, he's just going to take the whole map, I guess, and try and just counterattack like crazy. I guess that's what he wants to do. And ooh, Hellions get in. They're looking for the money hits, and 7. Okay.
Well, he wants to get better units with those anyways, I suppose.
Yeah. And as you were saying about the static defense, it's going to slow down the mech, but that's about it. There's no way like spines and spores really do anything against this many tanks and Banshees even. Like, Banshees can do so much DPS when they're upgraded. So
I'll be really frank with you, Mooley. This is the very first time I've ever seen multiple Niduses in a game. If you have this many, each one can spawn 1 Nidus at a time, right? So you could theoretically have 5 Nidus swarms making at the same time. Is that how this works?
That's exactly right.
Okay, so this could get crazy.
This is very interesting. Let's see where he puts them as well. We don't see supply depots in like the top of the main base. And whoa, here we go.
He's just going to try to overwhelm. If there's 5, can he deal with all 5?
Oh,
that's the plan here. If there's 5, he cannot deal with all 5 with SCVs alone, I don't think.
Well,
there are Vipers nearby. Here come the Banshees.
Banshee's going to stop this, I think.
Oh, it's going to be close. Yeah,
one on the left.
Oh, it gets out, but it's got no health, basically.
No, it's got 1 roach gets in. That was so expensive. And he might even lose the Vipers.
Oh boy,
man.
What a creative idea.
Great idea, but just, you know what, you're going to wait till Legacy of the Void before you start using those things again, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that was so creative, though. But that in Legacy of the Void, that concept, I feel, becomes such a good idea.
That's a legit concept in Legacy, man. That's a really cool idea.
We're seeing something really cool here. We're seeing the formation of something. I like this.
He's already been thinking about that beta, I think. He's going to wait another week before he starts playing that there.
Yeah. And it's sad in Korea, probably most of these players won't play too much of the beta past like the first week because they got to keep practicing this game, you know?
Exactly.
But here comes that 5th base now, only now being saturated. It's been up for quite some time. And here comes that first mech push.
Yep, it's time. He's maxed out at this point. That is a lot of tanks. And we don't see really any air units for Losira just yet, which would be probably his best choice at this point, considering you have no Thors whatsoever.
Yeah, that's why all these turrets are going up in the main, because sKyHigh knows there's a possibility that we're just going to see a big, massive, Mutalisk switch, for example. But it is going to be Broodlords instead.
Yep.
I think we've got like 5 on the way, yeah?
5 on the way. If he was to push, it would be now before they come up, but I think by the time he gets there at this point, they're just going to be waiting. And he's only got, what, 3 Vikings so far? It's not enough.
He's getting 3 more starports. He's getting +3, so he's going to have +3 for those Vikings in a second. He's going to want to get some armor, too. And, you know, some of these ground units die. You can definitely replace them with Thors.
Yeah, he's going to need, you know, Vikings. A couple of Thors will help out as well.
Yeah, he has to trade some of this ground army before he can even make more Vikings, for example. There are 2 Thors.
Well, here they come now. And sKyHigh could be very out of position in just a moment.
Oh, boy. All these tanks are unsieged. He's just going to fight this army straight up. But this is going to be very expensive.
Yeah, well, still, you know, getting some work done. It's probably the most efficient way to kind of trade out your army and then go for those Vikings. And he does see those Broodlords hammering away at the tanks at the back.
Let's see how Losira decides to spend his money. He makes an Ultralisk Cavern. Before that, though, let's watch the rest of this fight unfold. Since there's just 1 Viking left, can drop a few more Broodlings on this army.
Yeah, well,
16 Hydras.
Okay.
19 even. He's maxing out.
That's a lot of Hydras. So he still wants to have that good engagement. Maybe drop some really important Blinding Clouds and try and just overwhelm the army. And the way sKyHigh is kind of out there in the middle of the map, like, he's looking for trouble, man. He's running the risk of just getting completely dominated and risking a counterattack as well. He scans and moves back.
Okay, well, this is going to be a big counterattack, though, because there's literally nothing here. I mean, 2 Hydralisks and a Queen, sure, but that's not going to defend your drone line, especially with good Hellion control here. The rest of the Terran army is kind of out of position like you were talking about on the other side of the map. But it's like he is looking for trouble. It's like he wants to trade this somehow. He wants to get into a position where he can kill a base and trade the army.
He's got to be so careful doing this, though, because the moment these guys die, Losira is going to be knocking on that front door with Broodlords. So he wants to have the production up and running. He wants to have enough Vikings to kind of fight this as well.
Yeah. 6 Vikings on the way, and he's getting closer to that count. He's definitely going to need a bit more than that, but this army is just kind of teasing Losira a little bit, like, hey, I'm over here.
Yeah, well, the good thing about dealing with Broodlords is they are very slow, so you can kind of manipulate them like this, run around the map a bit, buy yourself an incredible amount of time if you're that afraid of them, I guess, of these tanks.
Oh, Banshee's coming in here. There's not that much of an answer for them. They actually might start wrecking some structures here. Meanwhile, a few Hellions find some drones. Oh, well, they're going to get over here regardless. And a few kills coming up. Spine's relatively good at defending this. He's just going for the hive. This is what I'm talking about. He's going to go for some structures here.
Oh, is he going to have enough time? If we didn't see anywhere near this, I think he's got this for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Causes a problem. Same time, that 5th base on the right side getting focused by tanks.
Here come the Hydras, but it's just simply too late. Or is it? Yep, too late.
Wow.
And that's no cost for sKyHigh. That's just a few Banshees.
Yeah. And he's just getting rid of supply, essentially. And, I mean, no more Vipers to worry about for at least a little while.
This is what I think he was planning to do with this small tank Hellion army the whole time, was just trade for a base, keep Losira's army out of position so he's safe against counterattacks.
He's going to get a second one. He's just going to get a second one because he's dealing with Broodlords. They're so slow to get to the point.
Yeah. 2 bases, trade your army, replace it with a bank that you've built, and Losira has to turn around with his slow army to deal with this. So all the while Losira's at the top right of the map, you can remax, you can get Ravens out, more siege tanks, get your planetaries and CC set up over here. He's going to need a bit more than what he's got to get this set up, though, I'm afraid. Yeah,
well, here comes this kind of semi-counter-attack, at least trying to stop that 5th base of sKyHigh.
Yeah.
There's so many tanks still. And
oh, no. Vikings find some Broodlords, and the Hydras are out of position, and sKyHigh knows it, and he's going to abuse it. He's got a ton of upgrades on these Vikings, too, so he's just going to come over here and knock these things out of the sky.
He could heavily supply cap Losira at this point as well, which is definitely going to be his next step. One-shotting these Overlords to 3-3 Vikings. Very nice.
Oh, boy, this is really well played by sKyHigh.
This is what we were expecting, man, when we saw him against Su. Like, we knew he was capable of great things with this style.
This top right base is so important for Losira because he's really hurting for minerals right now. And the fact that that one survives and is fully mining is very important.
Well, I mean, imagine these Vikings found it. They simply land and deal with it. They kill that before anything can get there to defend.
With 3-3 upgrades, he could land, kill it, and fly away. It looks like Hellions may have started to figure out what's going on over here.
Oh, man. Well, they're just going to kill everything.
Oh, this is desperate. When you're yanking Vikings with Vipers, and you know something has gone wrong. We have the Corvid Reactor, durable materials. Every upgrade in the book coming out right now for sKyHigh. That base is going to get right-clicked and killed. He probably could have just kept them in Hellion mode.
Look at these scans, man. This is how many orbitals he has as well. He's got about, let me have a quick count. He's got about about 8 orbitals, I believe. It's ridiculous.
That is nasty, man. More than mules at this point. Scans are quite useful. And uh-oh, he chased the Hellions away, but into the wrong spot. These drones are going to hide. That's pretty smart, but this base is just simply going to get right-clicked and maybe take 15 shots to kill it, but it will go down.
Well, in Hellbat mode, it's going to deal with it much quicker. What if they could even deal with these ultras? Probably. No, they can't.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Just going to kill it, switch, and then kite, I guess?
It looks like he's just going to sack them, which is fair enough as well. I mean, he could just simply max out.
Oh, the drones are fighting, though. Where are they going? If he was paying attention, this could be a disaster.
That could be horrible.
That's so funny. He's just simply not looking.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Well, Banshee's dealing with another base to the mid-left. And we're just seeing Losira kind of get choked out at this point, which is pretty much how we saw Sue as well end up losing that game on Vani. Not many Hydras left. He's still got a bunch of Vipers, full energy, and a bunch of Ultras as well. He's currently 10 Ultralisks.
Yeah, there are 18 siege tanks on the map, though, with 4 more on the way. So, oh, whoa, 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 I don't think that's worth it, man.
No, here comes the problem. He's going to need to use these Ultras now if he wants to save this base. Maybe he's just going to keep them. Oh, the scan gives it away. He might want to turn around.
He looks like he might want to. I don't know, man.
Oh,
he's gonna
look at that wall.
He's going to try for. There's an auto turret wall here.
He's going to do it. He's going to get rid of the cooling tower as well. Give himself a little bit more time.
Oh, that's so smart.
That is smart.
What a master of mech on this map.
Look
at Losira's face, man. He's got to be so frustrated with how this style is that he's playing against right now.
Oh, man, this map is just hard to deal with this kind of style. It's so hard to efficiently engage on like a 4 or 5 base Terran. There's so many chokes here. And if they're in position, if they're waiting for it, if they know your composition and have the tools necessary to deal with it, it's just about no way Zerg can get in.
Yeah. Well, small Hellion group now just going to outmaneuver those Ultralists. If the Ultralists chase the Hellions all the way across the map, then sKyHigh knows he doesn't have to worry about them for a while.
Well, here we go again.
Drones hiding. He may scan this time, expecting this.
Doesn't look like it, not this time.
No.
Scanning everywhere else there.
Sending almost all of his Ultralists to that location, though, leaves him very vulnerable in other locations. And Ultralists can never fight up here on the high ground. That's not going to happen. It's just too narrow of a choke point. And now he's actually going to kite, maybe even kill an Ultralist? Nah.
He's going to ignore it.
Too much micromanagement for one Ultralist at this point. Oh. Shut down. Well, look at this. I mean, the banks that we see here are somewhat reversed than what you would normally expect to see in this matchup with these compositions. Normally the Zerg who has the big bank who's making the tech switches and keeping the Terran guessing. Now those Nidus networks are still up. Something that I just don't think Losira can afford using, and even if he could, I mean, is he going to try to like teleport his Ultras all over the map?
Yeah, well, that's a question, right? Like, what else is he going to do? And what can he do? Because if the Terran simply turns around, goes into their main base to deal with these Ultras, like, there's no escape for the Ultras. There's no decent fight inside the SimCity. It's just simply going to be a slaughter, and that's all Losira has at this point. He's just looking for that engagement, but there is no reason at all for sKyHigh to ever leave his base while he's doing so much damage with Hellions, while he knows that there's no extra bases on the map that Losira is mining from that's, you know, giving him back into this game, essentially.
Yeah. Now, you know, just keeping in mind what Losira is kind of trying to do, at least what it seems to be, is trying to get a bunch of stack defense up and buy some time to get some swarm hosts out, but he needs time to build up a large count of them.
Well, I think he needs to be more worried about these Banshees and this kind of like the Sky army that we're seeing from sKyHigh.
Oh, look at this! It's larva assassination time here with the Hellbat or the Hellions. He's trying to kill the larva.
Oh man,
very smart.
That is so smart, actually. There's currently 15 larvae there. He's gonna kill them all.
Yeah,
that's crazy. As we see all these Ultras kind of go into the meat grinder of so many Banshees and Ravens,
he needs, I mean, Infestors. There we go, 6 of them. Like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is like Infestor's wet dream. There's fungal in that army, but he has time. He needs to get them out. He needs time to get them out, and they're not going to come out with pathogen glands, so they're not going to have a fungal when they spawn either.
That's the biggest problem of all, right? He's getting a little too late here. And even if they do come out, he can't use them for the longest time. Now the Great Aspire is going to go down as the next thing.
This is just, I think this is just checkmate, actually. Like, he has no answer for these. He can just target the spores down before they even can burrow. Auto turret, or PDD rather. Planetaries in the middle of the map. Like, Losira is, it's like watching, I don't know, a Banshee trying to kill a Viking. It's just not going to happen, man. It just can't, it just simply can't shoot up.
Yeah, he sees the Infestors come out, and he's like, oh, you actually don't have pathogen glands. And he could actually kill the Infestation Pit if he wanted. But instead, very smartly, going to go for the economy.
Yep. And, I mean, what can Losira do at this point? He's got a big bank, but there's no proper units to make with it. There just simply isn't. His Ultras that he has, that he invested a ton of money into, are totally useless. I mean, kill auto turrets with those?
Yeah, it's really dead weight. I mean, he should have really identified the army that he saw in sKyHigh. Like, it was purely based on defeating ground units. It was tanks and Hellions and Banshees. Like, if he went for a Muta Switch at some point, if he went for even Corruptors at some point, maybe he would have had a window to really defeat the army. But at this point, I don't think there's any way that sKyHigh could ever be surprised and not have units ready for it.
Oh, look at this. I mean, Overlords are going down. This is the supply block you were talking about, happening a little bit later. Those 10 Ultralists are just simply auto turret cleanups at this point, and 20 Swarmos is what he remaxes in. 20. That's a lot.
Well,
but he still doesn't have an answer for the air. He has to like try to bait this air army into his fungals somehow.
Yeah, he needs some like beautiful fungals if he wants to kind of deal with this. And we see these like scans kind of in front of these Banshees as well, so they're never going to get jumped on with these fungals. He should be prepared for them at any time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get creative here. Like,
well, here we go. He's going to see them, but you know what? He could just split up the Banshees. There's enough Banshees there to avoid all the fungals, DPS down any infested Terrans that come out, and then, you know, infestors are going to be useless.
Just going to kill this and leave. In fact, he's like just, it looks like for a second he was just considering killing the drones and leaving just simply because he can do that so quickly. Well, another army is now moving across the south of the map, this ground army. You know, it's like, okay, deal with my air army or deal with my ground army or don't deal with either, but I'm moving across the map. You got to respond. PDD's helping out against these locusts, but, you know, they're running somewhat of a buffer, and those spines are going to do the same. It's going to force them to at least siege up here for a second.
Well, this is definitely enough tanks to deal with any sort of locusts. So long as they got like maybe a little bit of buffer or at least a little bit of view of these locusts coming in, you're going to wipe them out very quickly because, you know, once you get enough tanks, you can just defeat everything.
Yeah, and attacking with these Ultras certainly isn't going to work either. I'm not even sure what this micro is.
That is game right there, man.
I think so.
You're going to see locusts coming again.
I mean, what do you think about just even making, earlier after seeing the composition, just making some Corruptors with the Infestors? Like,
yeah, I think any sort of air unit would have helped, whether it being Mutalisks. I mean, we do see barely any Thors on the map. I think we see one. Like,
oh, look at that splitting on the Banshees
as well.
Yeah,
exactly what I was going to talk about. Like, what's he going to do? He's going to lose them all. He's not going to get any fungals worth a damn. And from here, it's essentially hopeless.
Seems that way. Scans everywhere again to make sure there are no infestors in the general area. Losira is bleeding out at this point. PDD's just protecting these siege tanks. He's got more siege tanks here. He could start actually pushing forward down that creep, killing those stack defenses. +3 for air units. It's almost done, but what air units? There aren't any. Not a single one on the map. I mean, Vipers can't attack. They don't get that air upgraded, applied.
Yeah, well, it's going to be 5 Corruptors, but I don't know if that's even going to be enough considering how many Vikings we have.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be even close to enough.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Banshees are kind of just man-moding these spores.
Yeah, they have +3/3. That +3 attack is just going to tear through things. Now, going to have to force a repair over here, but small victory. Now the siege tanks are actually in range of the swarm hosts and are taking them out.
Yeah.
Losira is hanging on. I have to give it to him for all the situations he's been in that are unfavorable in this game. He is still alive.
He's hanging on
minutes
there.
In.
Sure, he's hanging in, but I mean, he's been choked out for the longest time as well. Like, he's been in this kind of position for a very long time now. It's almost, I think they are going to get hit by these. Ooh.
Yeah, several of them will get killed. The rest of them very heavily damaged. And he's on the cusp of actually just being able to siege them up or attack them directly with the Banshees. Drones mispathed here. Will get totally shreked. And here comes the final blow, I think, as he has moved close enough now to just straight up engage on top of these swarm hosts. Hellions up here to buffer. The siege tanks are going to clear this out pretty easily. They have to lift and pull back. Losira has basically no mining at this point. And sKy has the whole bottom left quadrant of the map. It's owned by him. He can move to wherever he wants. I mean, Losira has like one base at the bottom right.
There we go. There's some blinding clouds. That's the first of this game I think we've seen.
Yeah.
Finally, looks like the Locust might find some damage, or as I say that,
PDD's pretty good still.
PDD's picking everything up. No energy left in these Vipers.
A ton of infested Terrans coming over here. Might catch some siege tanks. Defend this desperation base. Looks kind of funny. Losira just types out he can't handle it anymore. GG. Type out at 188 supply, you know something has gone wrong in that game. Yeah. 188 supply, GG.
Yep, well, you got completely choked out from by a Terran for that long, man. It's going to happen. Very impressive play from sKyHigh, though. You know, he's very good at this mech style, and I'm so glad that I was one of the 2 people to vote for him in this first match, Wolf.
Well done.
I had a feeling, dude. I had a feeling.
Well, you know, feelings come true sometimes, and I have to say, I mean, I feel like sKyHigh not only just beat Losira in that game, he like beat him as a human, man. You could just tell, like, by the end of that game, it basically beat him as a human. He was just like, at the end of it, he was like, I'm done. I am done. I'm typing out. Like, he like went over there to defend the siege tanks, so then they blew up all the siege tanks blew up, and he just like looked at the army, and he was like, nah, that's it. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Well, it's what you do, man. As mech, you kind of just grind them down over a long time with that ridiculous cost efficiency. That you just, like, there's nothing the Zerg can do, especially if there's like planetaries in front of every base you want to attack, and nothing's getting through at all. Next up, we are going to have Biel versus Marine King.
Yeah, Marine King fans, get ready. He has another chance to prove himself today. He has taken a few crazy TVZs here and there, but